Did you turn it down, or did they kick you out of the country?
Still struggling, but trying, man, trying. It's just a magical place, a golfer's dream.
Woo! Let's go, let's get it! Get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go!
All right, welcome to the Sick Golf Trips podcast. This is the inaugural episode. I'm your host, 𝐤𝐸, along with my sidekick, Berkeley Hoagland. And for our very first guest, we have Ryan Lounsbury here to talk about an epic trip, I think. We'll find out about his trip to Bandon Dunes. Yeah? It was Bandon Dunes, Ryan?
That's correct, yeah.
All right. In this podcast, what we aim to do is provide you guys, the audience, with an idea of what makes a sick golf trip and what to plan, what to avoid, and give you some ideas and hopefully inspire you to take that next sick golf trips with your buddies. All right, let's just kick it off. Today's sponsor is Berkeley's Backyard Barbecue. Berkeley,
Woo! Let's go, let's get it!
tell us a little bit about Berkeley's Backyard Barbecue before we get the episode.
All right. Well, thanks, 𝐤𝐸. Great introduction. Thank you, Ryan, for being here. It's fantastic. Our first guest on today's show. It's fantastic. Yeah, Berkeley's Backyard Barbecue has been in business since 2003, and we are a full-service catering company coming anywhere in Southern California. And we bring the smoke, baby. We bring the smoke. We're cooking everything from ribs, chicken, tri-tip, sausage, lobsters, burgers, hot dogs. We make all the soul food sides fresh on site. So if anybody ever needs any barbecue, let me know. 714-206-2222. Can a brother get some barbecue? Wow!
Didn't you take the barbecue on the road? Did you go to Switzerland at one point?
I did. I had two places. I actually had an opportunity to open up a restaurant in Switzerland and in Vietnam. Unbelievable experiences there. It was great. It was awesome. I turned them both down after spending some time in Vietnam. I just, was kind of told by the people there that if you're not going to be here 24/7 and move here, don't bring your business here. Because one day you might show up and it might be a completely different business.
Did you turn it down, or did they kick you out of the country?
That's a better question, 𝐤𝐸. He was deported.
He's got a good point there.
All right. Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself and maybe start with where you went, and more importantly, also, what kind of golfer are you? Weekend golfer or what?
Yeah, thank you, 𝐤𝐸. Well, Ryan Lounsbury here. I've been playing golf since I was probably 7 years old and fell in love with the game right away.
7 years old, and you shoot the way you shoot?
Yeah, I know. Still struggling, but trying, man, trying. A lot of enthusiasm makes up for the lack of performance, but nonetheless, I was really intrigued to jump on today's session because I wanted to share about my experience at Bandon Dunes. My brother and I pulled together a trip in February of 2022, and it was just the two of us and two of his good friends, and we had the fortunate opportunity one of his friends was actually a caddy at Bandon Dunes.
Nice.
A prior year. So we got the caddy experience without having to pay for a caddy when you're up there.
Wow.
And you have to hire a caddy when you're there, isn't it?
No, you don't. It's optional. It's highly recommended. And I've played some courses where I wish they mandated having a caddy. I wouldn't quite say that you really do need one up there, but it definitely helps.
Where exactly is Bandon Dunes? Where's that at?
Yeah, it's in the southwest part of Oregon along the coast. It's right south of, let me see here, Coos Bay, and just north of Bandon, Oregon itself.
Okay.
And it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, right? So if you fly into Eugene, Oregon, it's about a 2.5 hour drive from Eugene out to Bandon Dunes. And this gentleman, his name is Mike Kaiser from Chicago, who had this vision of creating Scottish links golf in America. And there really wasn't somebody that had that vision until this gentleman came aboard. And in '99, he created Bandon Dunes, which was just one course and one course only. And now it's a complex of, I believe, 6 or 7 courses.
Yeah, actually, I'm surprised to hear that it's that old because I feel like I've heard a ton about it just recently, and everybody's going there, and it's so popular now that it's actually a wait list and lottery to even get there.
Yeah, when my brother and I went, we actually they didn't have the wait list. All you had to do is pretty much sign up for a reservation about a year in advance, and you can get it. Now it's a lottery system where you
Wow.
get picked.
For all 6
But
courses? All 6 courses is a
yes,
lottery pick?
yeah, yeah. So I've read and been told if you show up as a single, you most likely will get on with another group. But if you show up with one other person, it's impossible to get on. I mean, people are booking this at least a year, if not more in advance. I hear now it's almost a year and a half. Even if you get picked in the lottery, you're still waiting that long. But it's just a magical place. I mean, the first time you pull into the complex, it just strikes you as just a golfer's dream. And from the courses themselves to the facilities where you stay, everything is end to end, top notch, first class. The amenities where you like the accommodations where you stay, it has the golfer experience in mind. So you're out there all day long walking. There's no carts allowed unless you have a valid medical exemption.
Yeah, I'm
And it
definitely,
needs
I
to
got
be
one.
a valid medical exemption. It can't be just something like my doctor said I can't walk. Like you actually have to have this. And that's what this gentleman really wanted to do was bring Scottish links golf with that old style feel of walking a course and having the most enjoyable walk of your life. And
Wow.
it's absolutely incredible. But when you get back walking all day, you're tired, your feet hurt, it may have been raining all day, you've got wind blowing in your face because you're right on the coast. And that room just gives you the biggest hug, warm hug in the world. For accommodations of 2 people, you get 2 separate king size beds, you got a fireplace, golf shoe warmers, beautiful shower to like just wash away all the tears of losing golf balls all over the place and
Yeah.
being hit in the face with wind about 40 miles an hour. But I'll say this, it's a golfer's dream come true, and anybody that's done it is lucky to have done it, and anybody that's trying to do it, do whatever you can to get on one of those courses. It's
So to
amazing.
get out there, you said it's about a 2.5 hour drive from Eugene, and you said it's the middle of nowhere. Does that mean you have to stay there, or can
Yeah,
you stay outside?
you could stay outside. There are Airbnb accommodations that have recently started popping up that become popular, but I'll tell you what, like I said, the accommodations there are just spectacular,
Yeah,
and you
that's
really
part of the
want to stay
experience.
there. And depending upon the time of year, they have peak season and non-peak season. So when we went in February, it was non-peak, and the pricing for that is really is reasonable. You go peak season, all the pricing doubles, right?
Wow.
So it's up to you what you want to do, but
So when
yeah,
did you guys go? What season did you go?
we went February of 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the
Sounds
weather
cold.
like?
Was it that cold there at that time?
Um, it is. I mean, you're along the Oregon coast, and it was, I'd say, probably in the high 40s, low 50s during the day once you get around 11 a.m. And the rain can happen in a heartbeat, right? So you have to prepare. If you go, I mean, I would say this any time of year, prepare for all conditions, rain and sun. And that means bring in proper rain gear, bring in making sure that you have a change of shoes between rounds, making sure that you change your socks. I mean, it is like you will walk this course in the morning and then you'll walk another course in the afternoon, and it will be like no other experience ever because it really demands not only your focus to play the golf, but the physical conditions of the golf course, walking in the weather. It really does. It really does drain you after a day.
So why do you think they say no carts? Is that just for the experience of feeling like you're a pro and what the pros do?
No, it's really like I said, the gentleman who kind of had this vision wanted you to feel like you were walking an old style course in Scotland. And the reason why he picked this location, it's the only location that he could find in the United States that resembled anything like the coast of Scotland. And fortunately enough, I did go to school in Scotland for a year, and I know exactly what this guy was thinking. This land is the most inhabitable land you'll see, but it didn't matter to him. He saw a vision for it, and for them to cut courses out along this coastline, it took a Herculean feat to do that, and it's really God. It's if I can go back tomorrow, I'd go back, no question about it.
So did you play? There's six courses there. You said. Did you play all six?
No, what we did is we played. So my brother and I, we do a lot of golf trips together, and we know that you get really excited to do as many courses as you possibly can. But we're no spring chickens anymore. So the first day, we went after and we did two rounds. The next day we did one round, and then the following day we did two rounds.
Oh my
We
God.
played, yeah, and we played. And by the way, day two, don't make that round in the morning. Make that round around 12, around
Sleep in,
lunchtime,
yeah.
because you're going to want to sleep in. You're going to want to lick your wounds a little bit and make sure that you're ready to play, because you will be sore from the walking as well as playing. But we played Old MacDonald and Pacific Dunes day one. Old MacDonald is just an amazing course in itself. It's very, I'd say it would be more like the traditional Scottish experience that you would anticipate if you went off to the old course or any of the other beautiful courses in Scotland. Pacific Dunes in the afternoon, if I had to be asked what was my favorite round there, that was by far my favorite round. If I had to pick my favorite child, as they say, that's the one. I love them all, but that's my favorite child is Pacific Dunes. It is the most immaculate, well-groomed,
Wow.
Scottish Links meets kind of, and I know some people might think this might be a controversy, but like the Masters and Scottish Dunes all under one. It is it's my favorite course. If you ask me in general, it's probably my favorite course I've ever played in my life. Pacific Dunes.
So exactly when you say a Scottish type course, what do you mean by that compared to an American course? Like what's the difference?
Well, you're dealing with fairways that are like parking lots, right? I mean, they are hard pat. They are very, very, very thin. There's no give to these fairways whatsoever. Then you've got the fescue in the rough, that if you put your ball off into the rough just a little bit, you're searching for your ball forever. The greens are massive. I mean, you're talking about some greens that could be 30 or 40 yards big, long, and then 20 yards wide. So one of the,
There.
yeah, one of the things that was really cool is when you're kind of preparing to tee off for a round, there's a lot of the caddies are standing around waiting for their clients to come up. And so you can talk with them. And one of the caddies said, listen, when you're 50 yards out and you want to pull out that 60 degree or that 56 wedge to chip in, don't do it. Pull out your putter and just put the damn thing in. You'll have a better chance at sticking the ball closer to the pin than not. It's pretty incredible, and the thing about it is there are no trees, right? So what's separating you from hole one to hole two per se is just this beautiful fescue and these rolling hills, and and then you got the gorgeous backdrop of the Pacific Ocean there. It's next to none.
So you said you played 3 days. So does that mean you make it a four-nighter or three-night? How'd you work that?
Yeah, we did a 4 night stay there on premise, and they also have some pretty decent places to eat within the grounds there. Each course has their own like bar restaurant that you can go, and you can have different types of meals at each one of these places, which is kind of cool. But then they also have restaurants that are separated from these courses. One of the favorites that people will go to is McKee's Pub. That is like an Irish, Scottish style pub there that you can get your traditional fish and chips and, you know, all that fried food there, and have a good pints of Guinness. But they also have some upscale places, like the Dunes Club is one of the nice places that or the Pacific Grill, I apologize. And then they also have the Puffin bar. So the Puffin is the bird that kind of looks like a penguin, but it's not. So Puffin. It's, you know, just wanted to throw that out there. It wasn't doing a play on words or anything, but it's called the Puffin bar. It's their actual like mascot. And when you go there, if you want to buy your kids any stuffed animals or anything, it's, you know, you'll see the Puffins there.
So you said you played 5 rounds. So you didn't get to play. You missed one course. Then is that correct?
Yeah, we didn't play. Sheep's Ranch was one of them, and then we didn't get to play Shorties. Shorties is the par 3 course that they have there. I believe it's 16 or 13 holes. It's not a true 18, but we wanted to play it, but we just had to pick our battles. But it's by far, I've seen a couple of the holes. It's the coolest looking par 3 course you'll ever play. It's no Emerald Isle, Berkeley, if that's what you're asking. But you take all the beautiful characteristics of these courses that they probably poured hundreds of millions of dollars into, and they shrink it into a par 3 experience, which is really neat. But we just wanted to make sure we hit some of the more main courses that they have.
So when you guys go, so it's just 4 of you. Do you play any format, or you play money game with you guys? How do you guys do that?
Yeah, no, we didn't play any money game. You know, we didn't really play for money. We didn't have a format. We were just out there and just in awe of what we were able. I mean, you literally wait 14 months to get to this place, and then you get there. And I'll admit, the first tee box, you're a little nervous. You're shaking a little bit because you're realizing that A, you may never make it back to this place ever again, and B, this is where, you know, the world, if you look at top 10, you know, facilities or courses in the world, it's got to be up in the top 10. So, but yeah, no, it was, we went out there, we had some fun. I think we all shot somewhere. My brother's a really good stick, so he was in the low 80s, but most of us were closer to the high 90s, low 100s out there. But
well, Kerry, we're talking about
about the weather, and the weather makes a big, huge difference out there, man. So,
well, Kerry, you know, talking about golfing and betting and paying money. Why don't you ask Ryan how much he had to pay the black man the last time we played there? But who was reaching in whose pocket paying the black man? Huh?
Well, it was the first time in about 5 times that he had to pay me. So I know he's still excited. You know, I think it was like $25 or something like that. But
there you go.
You know, I don't want to remind Berkeley on a par 3 course that he had to owe me $50 after that round. And I don't think the course fees and the cart were even close to that amount. So
Yeah, but the worst part is you got to hear about it for forever until the next time you play.
yeah, exactly. I knew he'd bring that.
Next time we're going to play for a hat so you can cover that forehead up, both of you guys. Jesus, my Lord. Jesus.
Don't be jealous.
I need to change the angle of my camera.
Us Lounsburys were born with big foreheads.
Yeah,
So.
I guess. So I mean, it looked like you had a great experience with that, man. Like you would totally go back to that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, so funny enough that you bring that up. So my brother had, when we were there, he had booked another trip in person the following year. And so that time we had 16 guys, including myself and my brother. We had 14 other guys flying in from all parts of the country to go to Bandon. And a good friend of mine from San Diego was going to fly up with me. 2 days before the round, it snowed. And so they told us, listen, you can come up if you like, but we don't want to see you come up and fly out here and then sit in the clubhouse all day long because we can't let you out in the course. So they were, and I'll give them credit for this. They refunded all of our deposits and all our money back, And then, my brother and his friends, because they're predominantly on the East Coast, they flew down to Myrtle Beach and played for the week. And then my buddy and I flew out to Scottsdale because I'm based in San Diego. It was a 45-minute flight, and we went out to Scottsdale to play. But it broke my heart because I really was waiting 13 months to go back and play that again. And when you have a little bit of experience, of course, you get a little bit more confident and you feel good about it. You know what you experienced prior, but you also know, like, all right, now I got a little bit of course knowledge, I got a little bit of experience. Now I'm going to really kind of lean in on this a little bit and take advantage of it. And yeah, it definitely was heartbreaking to do that. And then right after that, that's when they changed to lottery system.
So you've been on other golf trips and you were going to go 16. Having done the 4, do you think Bandon lends itself to a smaller group versus a bigger group, or does it matter, do you think?
Oh man, we saw shuttle buses pulling up with 20 guys falling out of the shuttle bus from either Portland. You can fly into Portland and drive about 5 hours down, or you can fly into Eugene and drive about 2.5 hours. Most people will probably fly into Portland because you have to do a connection into Eugene, and it kind of, when you balance out the time, it washes out. But we saw, like I said, when we were there, a couple of these buses, so to speak, with huge groups of guys coming out. And they would come out with cases of beer, their golf bags, a small suitcase. They were ready to rock, And so if you want to go and do it with just a small group of 4 or a group of 20, it's ideal. And if you are bringing somebody that just wants to hang out and have fun, that's not the place for you. It's only golf. It's only golf and eating and drinking, and that is really what Bandon Dunes provides. So there's no frills. Yeah, you might be able to do a spa treatment here or there, but it's not like, you don't bring your wives on this trip if they don't play golf, because it's going to get boring.
It's crazy to hear you say that, like, yeah, this is like golf heaven for you, because most people, when you say golf heaven or you want to go somewhere, it's all the courses the pros play that the Masters, Pebble Beach, St. Andrews type of thing. So this isn't even on the circuit per se, right? So it's crazy.
Yeah, but Kerry, like, this guy Mike Kaiser, who pulled this whole thing together, man. I mean, he's created such a great brand that people, word of mouth. Now, you mention it. I mentioned it to my friends in Northern Ireland. And they're like, "Yeah, I've heard about it. It sounds amazing." I mean, the word is getting out that it is one of the premier places to go. Of course, you want to go to some of the other more famous courses, but those courses just, in my opinion, don't have the facility around them to support you for a number of days. And each one of these courses, from Bandon Dunes itself to Old MacDonald to Pacific Dunes to what's the other one? Bandon Trails. They are so like, you can't go to one location and hit all these courses like they have. You would have to, like, hit one course, then drive an hour to another course, then drive to an hour to another course. And what really makes this place special is there's one driving range for the entire complex. And it makes total sense. Why would you have a driving range at each one of these courses? This driving range is a golfer's dream come true. Everything's included. The only thing that's not is the food and the drinks that you want to consume when you're at the driving range. But you pull up there, you get your warm-up in, then you drive here or there to the course, and it's 1 mile away. So they've thought of everything. And that's what I find to be really special about it, is that you could tell that the gentleman who put the money into this was a golfer and really had passion for it, and thought of every little thing to make you feel like this is a Mecca, this is a heaven to go to.
Wow.
Really is really quite the place.
Yeah, I find when a lot of people go to Torrey or Pebble, they're like, they love it because they can be, this is where history happened. Tiger hit this 6-wood or 6-iron from here type of thing. Whereas it sounds like Bandon is like, no, it's for your special experience type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they've got people flying in internationally to play this course. And like I said, no, I don't think I've seen one review where somebody walked away and said it wasn't worth it, ever. And
Did you ever see the cost? What was the cost?
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Yeah.
Yeah, so in the off season, our rounds were 175 a piece, which is pretty reasonable. If you go in peak season, they're 350, right? So yeah, you go in June, the days are longer, the weather's better and more predictable, but you are paying 350, 400 a round. And that was just a few years ago. So maybe those prices have increased a little bit. But yeah, and then if you want to pay the cheaper price point, you take a chance on the weather not being that great. And I'll tell you what, I've never played golf in more extreme weather in my entire life. I remember hitting off of, on a par 4, I hit my driver and it went, I think, almost 150 yards, and I flushed the driver, but the wind was so hard coming into our face that it killed the ball. You'd be 130 yards out and you're hitting a 4-iron to take the wind out of the shot, and you're lucky to get on a green.
I crushed my driver 130 yards right down the
Yeah.
middle.
I mean, I never putted where I needed to figure out not only the distance and the undulation, but wind. And that's what you get. So day one, we were pretty lucky when we played Old MacDonald in Pacific Dunes. The weather was kind of perfect for that time. The next day, it was like hell broke loose. It was raining. I mean, we would never play it here in Southern California if it sprinkles. It was pouring down rain, but we waited a year. We're playing that damn course, and because there's no carts, they said, go ahead. If you feel like you can walk out there and survive, go for it. But I tell you, it was the most extreme conditions I had ever played, and my brother is one of the most devout golfers I've ever played with. He walked off Bandon Dunes after 9 holes because he couldn't take the weather anymore. And so you'll get it pretty hard if the weather's coming down, man.
What about going in like April, March, April, somewhere in there? Is it still going to be high price and weather crazy? Or?
Yeah, I think you'd have to check it out on the website. They definitely, one of the things they do really well is they lay out pricing, they lay out the courses, they lay out the amenities, all your options really, really well. And they'll tell you what the peak season time is. Once you start creeping towards like May, I think that's when it flips over. But again, Oregon along the coast, you're not guaranteed good weather. Unless you're going June, July, August, that's when you have a higher chance for that to happen.
So peak season, you're playing two rounds a day. You're looking at like what, $700-800 there. The accommodation, what, $500-600?
Yeah, I was just looking it up. We paid close to $400 a night for 2 people in a double occupation, which isn't bad at all. But if you take that to peak season, that's probably you're probably looking at close to $800 a night. And again, you're not going there because somebody just said you should tag along. You're going there because you know that's one of the bucket list things you want to do in your life. And if you get a chance to go, it's almost like money's not an object. Like if money's if money's a concern for you, then this might not be the place to go. Because not only are you going to pay when you're there, and then you're going to pay for food, but you also have to pay for airlines, and you have to get a rental car to drive. It's really something that you just kind of just say, I don't care what I pay. I just hope that I have the best experience possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, it's a little pricey, but not like outrageous. Doesn't sound like...
No, I mean, you can go to, I think now, what's it, Pebble Beach is now close to 1,000 or something like that around. I mean, golf prices are going up. And if you can knock out 4 or 5 of the best golf courses that you may be able to walk, it's within 4 days and not have to drive hours on end. I mean, it's so worth it. You got to think about the time element, right? All of us, I always look at activities of like should I pay somebody else to do it or can I do it? Right? Because my time's worth money. And at the end of the day, it's going to be the greatest experience one of the greatest experiences you've ever had here in the United States.
So would
So
you
Berkeley, you'd have to get a cart though, yeah.
Oh, I would. Oh man, I would walk in there, like I wouldn't even be walking in there. Somebody would have to wheel me in there in a wheelchair because I'd be like, I can't. There's no possible way I'm going to be walking, especially on 2 brand new knees. No, that's not happening. It's never happened.
You'll feel muscles you never thought you had in your shins,
Oh.
in your calves, your your thighs, because you don't really believe it. You're like, yeah, I walk all the time. That's not a big deal. It ain't nothing like walking undulated fairways and whatnot.
Yeah, and especially with the wind coming at you, and then you got to go through some rain. Oh, come on, man. So when you first started off, I was at a 10. Oh, I want to go here. Then it got knocked way down when you said you got to have, you got to have some sort of a doctor's note or something. You knocked it way down.
Yeah, I mean, hey, listen, when I was there, I actually did see a gentleman, he was probably in his early 70s, get a golf cart. So it does happen, and they do have nice little protective walls around a golf cart, to protect you from the wind and whatnot. So, it's not like it was a myth or a legend that I heard that you can get one. I actually saw a guy go out on a course, and the caddy jumped right into the cart with him, and they went out and played. So
Berkeley, every year, it's like deciding to run a marathon. You just got to train the whole year running for it.
Yeah. Hey, I could probably do it the first day. I don't know about doing 2. I don't know about doing 36 holes, but I'd probably need 2 days off just to recover. So we need to be there more than 4 days.
you can do shorties, the next day. There you go. The
I'll do the part 3. Absolutely.
All right, this was awesome, right? So we're gonna wrap it up with a score framework that we created here. So we call it the 6 score. So just give it a ranking of 1 to 10 in terms of these 5 categories. Okay, so in terms of 1 to 10, how would you rate the courses?
I think you probably already know what I'm going to say. I'd give them a very, very, very strong 9. Like, I don't want to be, I don't want to be that
there.
10, 10, 10, but I give them like a really hard, strong 9.5, type of thing. Like, I'm sure you could find something wrong with these courses, but they're damn good, man.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then in terms of the crew, now that's not ranking your crew necessarily that you went with specifically. Maybe it is. But understanding, having been through with bigger groups and whatnot, how would you rate the kind of crew that you went with and the ambiance and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know the two other guys that we went with, so it was interesting because I didn't know what to expect, right? But I think that's what the most beautiful thing about this game is that you can get paired up with people you've never met before and go out and get to know them really, really well, right? And the crew was awesome. Like, I really enjoyed hanging out and get to know these guys and still stay in touch with each other. Yeah, I definitely would say I wish there were my boys that I grew up with that play golf, So I'd say the crew was an 8, and that's why I love this game, man, is that you get to meet new people all the time.
Yeah. So Ryan, you obviously know that I play hockey and me and Carrie play hockey together. And that's one of the things that I do every year is I bring a team to Vegas to play in an ice hockey tournament. And it's not so much that I want somebody that's really good, but just as equal as that is I need someone really good in the locker room. Someone that is great with other guys, easy to get along. You don't have to baby them. You're not pampering anybody. And also that they stick around after the game and they have some beers in the locker room and they kind of, shoot the shit and hang out and bust each other's balls. So when you're on a golf course, I mean, you're obviously with somebody for 4 or 5 hours, could be more than 5 hours, And if you're with somebody that's just kind of stuck in the mud, and they're just kind of like in their, you get a lot of guys that are just kind of like in their game. They're not watching your when you drive to help you find your ball. And so there's a lot of there's a lot of good stuff that goes with, getting paired up or having the right group of guys when you're going to golf on a trip, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the opening round was, I didn't know what to expect from the other two. I knew what to expect from my brother. I've been playing golf with him most of my life. But I knew if they were friends with my brother that they would be solid dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, just sharing stories as you're walking. Again, you're walking, right? You're not like in two golf carts spread out and you're not talking and then you eat at the green, then the tee. You're like, you're really getting to know these folks, and then you're having drinks and dinner and everything afterwards, breakfast, going back to the room, crushing some beers, that type of stuff. And yeah, it was a good group, for sure. A solid 8.
All right, awesome. And then format, you guys didn't really have a format, you said. You kind of were just playing, yeah?
Yeah, it was just the 4 of us, and I'll tell you what, man, like the weather got so chaotic. Nobody was shooting what they normally would shoot. There's just no way. Like I said, I hope to never play in conditions like that ever again in my life, because it was like a physical feat of survival to get back to the clubhouse after 18 holes. It was that bad.
I don't know if I would ever want to go there. I don't know if I'd want to do that. I don't know if I want to put myself through it. I want to have the most incredible golf experience without having all these other obstacles in my way. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I'll say this, man. Like I mentioned before, my good friends from Northern Ireland, you go out golfing with them, it could be raining a good clip. They don't care. They just put on their gear and they go. Here in SoCal, we cancel that round 3 days in advance, and so that you just either used to unmanicured golf, where the conditions are what they are and just go out and do it, or if you're used to it like us here in SoCal, we get spoiled with weather and great course conditions, and it's what you're raised on.
Yeah. Look, I've got these other categories, but they don't really make sense for your the trip that you went up. So I'm going to just ask you this: that we have a run it back mod, basically. So if you were to say, if this could be, what it could be would this be an annual lock, something a rotational classic? It's just in kind of rotation of 3, 4, 5 different trips. Is it a one and done, worth it, but wouldn't do it again? Is it a rebuild and run? You do it again, but you just turn the format a little bit, or is it kind of lightning in a bottle? It's like that. Well, that's kind of
no, it's a great question, because I think there are plenty of places you can go and have spectacular experiences. So I'd say I would put it in the rotation to go back. I wouldn't, I signed up to go back a year later just because I really did fall in love with it, but I could see it being a little bit like you don't, if you got other places you can go, then go there. But put that in the Rolodex of places that you and your friends would go and pick a trip. Just got to plan out in advance, and hopefully you get the lottery, and it's an 18-month wait from what I understand. Would I do anything different about going to Bandon? I don't think I would. I think how we showed up and what we wanted to do is exactly what I think you need to do. Just have a beginner's mind, man. You go there and just let this course, as it was designed, or this facility as it was laid out to provide the experience, just let it all in, man. Just walk up and, as they want you to experience it, do it. And I'd say you'd be crazy to say I'm never going back there again, because I'd really want to know why. Like, I really would. Maybe something happened to you that was unforeseen and whatnot, but that is the place to go. I would keep it in the Rolodex. I hope I get back there again. And if I'm ever up in the Oregon area traveling for business on my own, I'm definitely taking a few days, and I'm just going to go and see if I can get on a wait list to get out there.
Well, after this podcast, we're sending this right to them, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna fly us all out there on their time. Yeah, sure.
There's a private airport not too far from there, so
and they might even hire you to do some marketing, dude. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
So Burke, what in terms of Sick Pod FOMO, host FOMO, what's your 1 to 10 rating? FOMO, how bad do you want to get there?
If
Man,
you
the
had a
first
golf
5 minutes I was at a
cart,
10.
You had a
First five
golf
minutes I
cart,
was
yeah.
at a 10. What'd you say? Yeah. I mean, if I'm riding, I'm there. I'm there tomorrow. But if I gotta walk, oh, jeez, that's
Yeah,
knocking that down a bit, man. I'm telling you, it's gonna. I'm probably at a 5 if they say I gotta walk. If I gotta walk, you know, in February and I don't know what the weather's gonna be like, and I'm rolling the dice, and then I got someone that's got good knees and he's leaving after 9 holes. Yeah, I don't know, but I would make it a 10 if I can be in a cart, 100%.
Yeah, for me, I think I would put it as an 8, only because um, like I need guaranteed, not guaranteed weather, but I could not go out in a rain, windstorm. There's no way. Like I would be miserable. So for the risk factor, I put it as an 8, but also it sounds like a place for me, this is just me personally, but I would want to take a group of at least 16 and then do some kind of Ryder Cup format, or
Yeah.
some kind of game format. Sounds amazing there, right?
100%, Carrie. And I guarantee you that's what a lot of these groups do. It was our first time, and yeah, if we went back again, more players, format, money on the line. I don't care what weather it is, whatnot. You go out there and you do that. Would probably
And we need that. And what we need to do is we need to get a belt. We need to have a belt. So the winner, however you do it, that winner's got to have that belt for a year, all right? Until we see that guy again, But we got to get a big friggin' leather belt.
I will say this before we part ways here. Like I did get my annual bonus check when I was in the clubhouse day one. I was in the gift shop there, and I felt like Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack. Walking in, I'll take one of those and two of those and four of those and four different
Nice.
colors. Like it was the best experience ever, man. Yeah, and their golf shop has everything and anything you can possibly think of to buy, down to buying a whole set of new clubs if you really wanted to. It's really top notch. So
Well, that's awesome. Super appreciate it, Ryan. This was an awesome conversation and wonderful inaugural episode. We learned a lot about Bandon Dunes. I don't know, Berkeley, you have any closing remarks?
No, man, I just want to say thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you. You brought the energy today, and it was a great experience learning about your golf trip, and it sounds like a great place for people that want to go. So I hope people are able to look it up. What's their website? Why don't you give them their website? Is it bandondunes.com?
yeah, BandonDunesGolf.com.
Bandon Dunes, okay.
Type that in, and it will be at the top of the search. And if you boys want to check in with me after I take my trip to Dublin in July to play the Ryder Cup course with the boys, we've got about 20 of us going there. Happy to share
wow.
my experiences.
Definitely. When are you going?
July 12th.
Nice.
So,
We might need to do the podcast with you over there. So bring your computer. That would be fantastic.
I'll have my phone, so we could do it on the phone, and be more than
Okay.
happy to. And maybe we'll do a few shots of Bush Mills for you folks on
There you
T1 or
go.
something.
Yeah, that's
Get on
fantastic.
the course with Berkeley again to shut his mouth up.
Oh, I will. Don't you worry. It's happening this weekend. All right, boys. Thank you so
All right,
much
awesome.
for your time, man. Thank you.